everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you're a Taurus and the other person is a Virgo. This is an example of two earth signs that may get along famously, but we have to keep in mind that this is all on paper and people are individuals, and even if an astrology book, an astrologer, an online resource says that, oh wow, you guys are going to just hit it off like gangbusters, it doesn't mean it's going to actually pan out that way. And, I could go into astrological reasons why, but I don't even want to do that. I just want to keep it to a simple fact that two people are individuals at the end of the day, and they simply may not be compatible as individuals. But there certainly are a lot of good things to say about this combination. I think that Virgo people can help you, Taurus, in some ways, because Virgo you're both earth signs, but Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So if you have a tendency to kind of get in a rut where you're always eating the same foods, going to the same places, Virgo may suggest, hey, let's try this cuisine. You like Italian food, but why not ever try Thai? Have you ever had Thai food? And the Taurus person says, no, I just like what I like. And it's funny that I'm using food as an example. I'm doing that on purpose because, or I didn't realize I was doing it on purpose. But I have Taurus rising, and it's funny because my moon is actually in Virgo. So the moon sign can be the health of the person. And, if you have Virgo, if the person has Virgo as a moon sign, they may be a health fanatic. And I'm talking about, in terms of diet, maybe like I'm a vegetarian and things like that, natural foods and things like that. And one thing that I want to say, since I brought up the moon, is that we could be talking about moon signs for either one of these individuals. And when I started doing these types of videos, I was including the moon, and then I was like, oh, it's just like extra work to bring up the moon and all this, but it really is important because it will be the case for some people. So I love to cook, so I use examples with food, and it works out when you're talking about Taurus. But so what I put down here is that both individuals are of the earth element. So that means that you're on the same page about a lot of things. Down to earth. What does that mean when we say somebody is down to earth? It means that we think that they are unpretentious. In other words, that they're not trying to be something that they're not. They're not putting on airs, as we like to say. That they're just being who they are, being very naturalistic, and in terms of enjoying nature, that could run the gamut. That could mean a mutual interest in gardening or horticulture. It could be an interest in camping or hiking, things like that. And that might not be something that you would share with somebody of another sign. And that could feel like you were missing out on a lot if you didn't have that. So this person is going to respect that and support you in that area. And there are a lot of outdoorsy people who you can tell when I'm walking around and I'm at a river, for instance, I can tell that they are nourished by that experience. They're not just doing it to kill time. They're really nourished by it. So I think both of you are that type of person. And then another thing that's connected to the earth element, and I'm always thinking about the tarot. I'm always making those connections to the tarot, to the pentacles. So it's about money. Money is part of that as well, the material resources. This is an area where a lot of conflict occurs in relationships sometimes. And so both of you might be the type who are on the same page with money. Um, I think if anything might be a little bit iffy, it's that Taurus likes retail therapy, whereas Virgo is a little bit more of a minimalist, I think. So that might be a source of friction a little bit, but nothing that cannot be overcome. Because even if Taurus is a little bit more materialistic, or maybe a lot more materialistic than Virgo, that can be adjusted. The only possible challenge to that is if the Taurus person is so like a hoarder, where they're just like buying things and then buying more and not getting rid of other things, then that could be challenging. But I don't think that a Taurus person is automatically going to be like that. This combination would actually make good business partners if they ran a business together, because of, I think they just are instinctually gifted with understanding, what people want and just the practical side of life. And this goes into the area of, both of these people having common sense. There's that saying, common sense isn't that common. And it's hard for me to define common sense because it's not about degrees. It's about just understanding, in your day-to-day life, what kind of actions will yield the most productive results in, the easiest way to do it. So I think both of these signs tend to really want to do things that are productive. And we think of the word productive, it means that they produce something tangibility. The earth element is, what you see is what you get. What you do can be what you manifest. Instead of just saying, I'm going to manifest something and I'm not going to work at it. I don't think that earth signs go for that. Even if they believe in the law of attraction, they still believe you have to roll up your sleeves and get down to work. So they're willing to work. You are willing to work. Virgo is a prodigious worker. And if you had your druthers to decide what you're going to do with your time, you probably would do something that is more productive. Now, don't get it twisted. Taurus can definitely chill and be maybe much more of a laid-back person in that sense than Virgo, but still, Taurus people can work very hard when they want to. And I didn't put this down, but I would say that there would be sexual compatibility because of being earth signs. Maybe just being very straightforward and, in that area, sometimes people get so caught up in making everything, just going through, making everything complicated. And I think just in general, Taurus and Virgo like to do everything that they do in a very straightforward and down-to-earth manner. What could be problematic? Well, Virgo has a reputation for being a perfectionist. So one of the main things that goes along with that tendency is being hypercritical. And the moon in Virgo, I feel, may be more like that than the sun in Virgo, because of what the moon represents, but you might also get that with the sun in Virgo. I like to use the word persnickety. I think that even illustrates it more, which means just like being very picky and exact about everything. And this may just show up in certain areas, but that can drive another person crazy depending on how severe it is. I mean, obviously, not all Virgos are going to be that anal, but the ones that are can really drive a Taurus person up a tree, because Taurus is pretty live and let live, as a whole. Unless the Taurus person has a moon in Virgo, then they might be a little bit more, of a perfectionist themselves. I put down here, Virgo can be too uptight. That was kind of what I meant about being high strung, being very, I don't even know the word I would use, but can't relax. Kind of like high strung, can't relax, has a hard time letting go. And again, I think that a lot of that has to do with perfectionism, a feeling that like there's more they can do, there's something else they should have done, that sort of thing. And the Taurus person might feel, oh, this is so tedious. Why can't you just relax? The Virgo person may be more cerebral. Taurus, this is an important thing to note though, because some Taurus people are intellectuals themselves, especially since Gemini is right next to Taurus, and you might have Mercury in Gemini, you may have Venus in Gemini, and love reading, and your moon could be in an air sign. So it's not to say that a Taurus person doesn't read or they don't like things like that, but just think about people that or that some, whatever. There are some people who are more cerebral than others. And the funny thing is, I have observed people who have gone to good universities and where they had to really be smart to even go there in the first place, let alone graduate. And they never read, or they rarely read. Just because you have gone to college doesn't mean that you're an intellectual, that you value that you are a lifelong learner. So it's really strange. So the reason I say this is because having conversations with people, the Taurus individual may not really be that interested in having long conversations. It might just be, what do I need to say, not what I want to say. And the Virgo person may be more verbal, may want to have longer conversations, and that might be frustrating if you're the type of person who just likes to kind of chill. You don't want to really have a lot of words kind of polluting your mind and things like that. It was funny. I was doing another video for YouTube, and I said something in the video that I was observing people at a cafe, like a couple, and they didn't seem to be talking to each other at all. And I thought that was like, I don't know, I thought that was sad. And somebody said to me, no, some people, they just, neither one of them, they need to do that. And that doesn't mean that their relationship isn't a good one. And, of course, I was just imposing how I would feel if I were in that situation. But that's perfectly correct. If both people are like that, then that's, what they want. And they wouldn't want somebody that was like kind of rambling on. So just a little bit of these comparisons with these two signs. I really do. I get a good feeling, though, with this combination in general. So I hope that you enjoyed this, Taurus. If you're, well, I shouldn't say, some people might be Virgo. or some other sign. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.